Daytona Beach, Florida, has been famous for over half a century as the place where auto pioneers tested their dreams. Now, only the sound of the surf recalls a roaring past. When the beach became too slow for today's cars and the tides and winds too uncertain, a new measure for automotive progress was built. The Daytona International Speedway. In 1959, Lee Petty won the first Daytona 500-mile race at the then unheard-of speed of 135 miles per hour in a stock car. Each year in February, before the eyes of the motoring world, speeds climb. How fast can a stock car go? A race does not start with the green flag, as Lee Petty can tell us.
What happened during the race happened a long time before the race, meaning by the preparation of the race.
Lee Petty, 3 times NASCAR national champion, has retired from driving, not racing. He's crew chief for his son, Richard, who has taken over the wheel.
I don't feel like now that I've got to prove to anybody, not special to myself, that I was a pretty good driver back then, and then have somebody in your own family come along as good, or in fact, I classify them a lot better driver than I ever was, although it was just as stiff back then as it is today, but they've got so much better equipment, and to be able to beat everybody is quite an accomplishment.
How do you know you're ready for the race, Mr. Petty?
Well, I think you get ready for the race. I think you turn all the bolts and the nuts and tighten it up and get it prepared as good as you know how. You begin to go back on the old saying, you hope everything's okay.
The only way to know what the car will do is to run. And 2 weeks before the race, number 43 is on the track for practice and qualifications. Richard Petty won 15 out of 50 races last year, but never a big one. This is the time when they find out whether the months of work have paid off. Richard drops into a corner wide open and turns the fastest laps ever run at Daytona in a stock car. The competition is worried, but not Lee. 174.5 miles per hour in a 64 Plymouth. USAC stock car champion Paul Goldsmith takes off in another 64 Plymouth, as last year's 500 winner Tiny Lund watches. At these speeds, control is the key. Control of the car, control of races. Goldsmith pours it on to qualify at almost 175 miles per hour, beating Petty's mark by half a mile. By NASCAR rules, all cars have the same 22-gallon tanks. At racing speeds and with rich mixtures, fuel consumption has to be figured carefully. No one in the competition can match the speed of the Plymouths, but race strategy can win or lose a 500-mile race. And tires, the all-important 4 on the ground. You not only have to go fast, you have to go safe. During time trials and practice, every previous Daytona record is broken, but not before the Big D takes its toll. Race day. And over 80,000 motor fans crowd this great 450-acre speedway to see what the best of Detroit can do. Pre-race festivities are climaxed by a trophy presentation from Speedway President Bill France to Pure Oil President Robert L. Milligan for Pure Oil Company's outstanding contribution to stock car racing. The Daytona 500 is the first major event of the new model year, and all the great drivers and the best of equipment are here. The 46 entries line up, 2 by 2, in the order of their qualifying speed. The drivers stand by their cars with no eyes for the last of the parade going by. The moment before a race is the time when drivers are most alone. Richard Petty is ready. Fireball Roberts, Paul Goldsmith, Jim Hurtubise, Jimmy Pardue, Dan Gurney. Ready. The starter gives a signal, and the best drivers in the country with $5 million of equipment move out for the parade lap before a running start. Behind the pace car, Goldsmith, a number 26 Plymouth, and Petty, number 43 Plymouth, first row. Junior Johnson, number 3 Dodge, and Pardue, number 54 Plymouth, second row. The pace car pulls off the track. The field picks up speed. And the race is on. Going into the first turn, it's wheel to wheel. Goldsmith jumps out in front, and Petty slips into his windstream right behind him. Bobby Isaac, number 26 Dodge, charges into third. Maurice Petty, Richard's brother, and Lee can only stand by now and watch. The field stretches out as the leaders hit a speed of 180 miles per hour on the backstretch. Goldsmith takes lap 1, but not by much. Petty is moving up. Petty passes. There's a three-way battle for second place. Goldsmith, Isaac, Pardue. Goldsmith falls back. Pardue and Isaac are still fender to fender. Isaac, a number 26 Dodge, breaks loose from Pardue and charges after Petty. Isaac catches Petty. Can he pass? Bobby Isaac takes first place, but Petty stays with him. Petty pours it on and barrels past Isaac to run in front again. After 10 laps, the average speed is over 172 miles per hour, breaking all 500-mile records. The race is young. Anything can happen. 475 miles to go. The leaders begin to lap the field. Trying to stay with the leaders, other drivers go all out to stay within striking distance. Fireball Roberts, number 22 Ford, has transmission trouble. In the first 40 minutes of the race, 16 cars run out of iron. 500 miles on this track is the equivalent of 100,000 miles on the highway. As the 100-mile mark comes up, it's Richard Petty running in first. Dave Pearson, number 6 Dodge, second. Hoyt, 00 Ford, right after him. And Parnelli Jones, 15 Mercury, fourth. Panch, 21 Ford, fifth. The average speed is still better than 172 miles an hour. 100 miles, and the leaders pit. Petty, the first, charges down the pit wall. But Dick finds Buck Baker in another Petty car, number 41, in the Petty pit area. Buck was supposed to pit after Dick, but he ran out of gas sooner than expected. One crew, 2 cars to be serviced. A tough break. While the Petty team sweats out the fueling and the precautionary tire changes on both cars, other crews work frantically on Petty's competition. Seconds lost in the pits have to be made up the hard way on the track, and time gained can win the race. Hoyt, with a 30-second stop, is the first of the leaders to roar away. Pearson charges right after him in second place. At the 173-mile-an-hour pace, it takes only 52 seconds to go around this 2.5-mile course. After a minute and a half in the pits, number 41 and 43 finally get underway, and Petty has dropped to 15th place. Now it's his turn to chase the leaders. And he does. Rim riding this high bank track flat out at 175 miles an hour. Oh, Dave Pearson hits the wall, coming into the main straightaway. He's all right, and he wants to stay that way. The caution signal slows the field while the track is clear. Up and running again, and Petty is still charging. Oh, one car stands between him and first place, Goldsmith. And on lap 52, Petty passes to take the lead again. Tangles with Ned Jarrett and spins on his top for hundreds of feet. Is Johnny all right? He climbs out safe and spry, thanks to seat belts, shoulder harness, helmet, and roll bars, required by NASCAR regulations. The debris is swept off the track, along with what's left of the car, and they're racing. Petty's still in front by a good margin. Second place point, 004, blows an engine. McElreath, number 14 Mercury, bounces off the guardrail on the west turn. As the race grinds on, what does a mechanic and a father think about?
I got my mind on a lot of things. I got my mind on the tires, and something doesn't fall on the track, and he runs over and runs into the fence. You build up a certain amount of doubt where you're able to run that far and that long and that hard for 3 or 3.5 hours because the car really is taking a lot of stress.
The white flag. One more lap to go. And Richard Petty is still moving along easy and strong. Richard has 1 lap lead over second, 2 laps over third and fourth. The crowd cheers as Richard Petty in his number 43 Plymouth takes the checkered flag going away. Richard Petty rolls into the winner's circle as his father did 5 years ago. The jubilant Petty crew runs to greet him. This is their victory, too. They who have worked so long and so hard for the big one. This has been a great show for Plymouth, who ran 1, 2, 3. Pardue was second and Goldsmith third. Miss Firebird presents the victory flag. And for the Pettys, Lee and Richard, there's nothing like checkered flags to make happy time. Besides the trophies, Richard Petty earned $33,300 in 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 23 seconds. As Lee said, it's a big accomplishment to beat the best. And this 500-mile race will long be remembered as not only the richest ever run at Daytona, but the fastest ever run anywhere, anytime.